Oh my God, I just totally got catfished. He looks absolutely nothing like his picture.
So I found out the guy that I've been dating is married with kids. His wife just reached out to me.
Welcome to the meat market. The single scene is a slaughterhouse and we are here to devour it. We are your hosts. I'm Lindsay.
I'm Jess.
And today's sizzling single is Jared. It's Jared. Welcome.
Here I am. Thank you for having me.
So you live in a van.
I do.
What happens when you go on a date and you want to bring the girl home? Has that happened?
It's best we go to her place.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
So how many women have had the luxury of being invited back to your van? Have you brought women home?
Only 3.
Only 3?
Yeah. Typically, it's like I said, a better option to find somewhere different than my place.
Yeah.
I know, right? Even today when you walked into the studio, you were like, oh my God, running water. So it's like, I can only imagine as a woman, like you walk into a place and it's like, okay, so can we go to the bathroom? Like, what's
Outside.
going on here? Outside.
So I read that a lot of the younger generation are choosing a minimalistic lifestyle. So tell us, how did you choose to live in the van life?
Well, I was about 25 years old when I had already lived the life that I wanted to live. I had all the toys and all the things. I was a heavy equipment mechanic for almost 10 years. And I acquired a beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, farm fields all the way to the mountain view. I had all the toys, motorcycles, side-by-sides, boats, trucks, camp trailers, all the things. And I was just extremely unhappy with where I was. I knew that I had an entrepreneurial journey inside of me, and I wanted to live that out. And I went ahead and made the decision that I was going to leave my job about the time that COVID happened. And the girl I was with at the time was not comfortable with me exploring that venture. And she said, basically, it's either you can do this without me or you can not do it and stay with me. And I was like, later. So from that point, I realized I didn't want to be stuck in my zip code. I started bettering my life. I learned how to meditate and journal and play my guitar and sing at the same time. And I just really got into focusing on myself and bettering myself. And in that space, I gathered the fact that I needed to leave my zip code. So I sold off my business, my house, all of my belongings, essentially, just in the quest of self-discovery. So from there, I traveled for a long time. And long story short, ended up in California where I was living in an apartment. And they wanted to increase the rent rate, and I did not want to pay $3,000 a month for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. So from there, I had the van for like probably a year prior, and at that point, I was like, here's what I'm going to do with the van, because I had no idea before. I got the van for free, essentially, so I didn't have any plans for it until it was necessity, and then I just built it, because it's my aptitude. So I put it together. And then from there, I just kind of lived the SoCal van life, which was beautiful and easy because the weather's perfect. Here, it's a little bit different because our seasons are kind of intense.
How does that work in the summertime?
It's not going to. I don't intend to.
Have you spent a
carry
summer
it
here
through.
already?
Only the tail end.
Okay.
And it was hot.
Yeah.
I mostly feel bad for my guitars because they're not built for the heat.
Yeah. And it's coming. It's coming fast. Where will you go this summer?
So actually my real estate partners they own a boatload of triplexes, fourplexes, and then single family rental homes.
Okay.
So ultimately I'm just going to become a tenant in one of their properties here.
What about the winters? Because it can get cold here too. Do you sleep with the heating on or just a bunch of blankets?
I usually start the engine, turn the heater on, let it warm up, and from there, I turn it off and I go to bed and I cross my fingers that it won't freeze to death. But luckily,
funny.
it gets like 50, 60 degrees. I keep a down comforter that's folded in half, so I'm like double down comforted. It's actually pretty warm, but it's all reliant on my own body heat.
I just realized, did you drive the van to the studio today? I
No.
didn't even look. Oh, you didn't? Oh, like, I want to see it.
Yeah, well, I can show you some photos later. It's not something that I use to commute. I keep it stationary at a friend's house, and he's got 10 acres, so plenty of room. And then I have actually a nice little Lexus that I drive as my daily commuter vehicle. So it's almost like a stationary home at this point.
Okay.
Nice. So do you enjoy it? Do you plan to do this for many years to come? Do you have a goal?
I plan to enjoy it more as a toy in the future, because it is really fun to be able to just say, I want to go to Sedona tonight, you know, and I don't need to book a hotel. I don't need any reservations. I just mob it up and sleep in it. And so the plan is to use it more so as that. Yeah.
Well, I was reading that the younger generation are very much into this type of lifestyle because it does offer flexibility, mobility, financial freedom, less stress, less clutter.
I know. I was going to say, did you really sell everything except what would fit in the van, or do you have like a storage unit somewhere where you have some things left?
I have a storage unit. With
You do?
things.
Okay.
Yeah. Mostly
I was
just
gonna say,
valuables that I'm not willing to part with.
Yes.
And to touch on your point, Lindsay, you know, the main intention with it is not because I can't have, because I don't have another option. It's really to mitigate my expenses and maximize my income, all done with the intention of being able to roll it into the next phase of my life.
Smart. You're being smart about it because rent nowadays is absolutely out of control.
Do you tell women, right, like when you has it made dating difficult? You know, having that conversation.
If you find out me prior to, I feel like it's not really much of a stigma. And I don't wear it on my sleeve. I don't go around telling everybody, hey, I live in a van.
Yeah.
So are you on the apps?
I'm no longer on the apps. I've been intertwining myself with a community that's been so incredible. I haven't needed to. I deleted them in my most recent relationship, and it's been wonderful.
So do you find when you do meet a girl and you finally tell her about your living situation, do you find that you get judged a lot? Or are a lot of women accepting and think it's cool?
Sometimes there are other van life chicks.
Yeah.
So that's easy.
It's like a whole community. That's fun.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's cool.
Other times I don't think so.
No.
You know, because you realize in meeting me that I have an aptitude that's not like somebody who's just doing this thing because I don't know any better, or like I'm trying to take an easy route out. Like it's not easy. It's not an easy life.
Well, you can tell that you're very ambitious, you're very intelligent, you have a long-term plan. You can tell that you're not just, you know, one of these people that just...
So do you have like a gym membership? Do you shower at the gym? Okay.
So is that, I was going to ask, is that where you shower, the gym?
Okay.
Daily. I go to the gym twice a day, once in the morning to work out and then once at night to shower.
Okay.
You said though that you live on your friend's property. Do you not go into his house to shower or to use the kitchen or then?
It's totally there, and I totally have an option. He literally has like a studio built into his house that I could live in, but I'm on a mission to not be reliant on someone.
Wow, good for you.
How long do you plan to do this? Is it dependent on the career sort of milestones, or do you have a timeline?
Well, the weather's going to be the main determining factor here.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
While at the same time, there are financial milestones that I plan to achieve to be able to like really not be in this space anymore.
So you do real estate, right?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm an investor and an agent.
Nice.
So got a fix and flip happening right now, and that's been taking like all of my time. I don't spend a lot of time in the van because I'm a very diligent worker. I work from the time I get up to the time I go to bed. So it's like really I only utilize it for sleep.
So tell us about your last relationship. You touched on it a little bit. How long ago was that?
That was probably about 4 months ago. Great girl. It was really, everything was fun and exciting, and saw it was all going where I would hope for it to go. And what really broke us off was that she was not willing to participate in cult-like activities.
cult-like activities?
Yeah,
Like,
I have a lot of friend
explain.
groups. I have a lot of friend groups, and a lot of us do super different styles of things. I mean, we utilize all modalities, whether it's radical, honest feedback or sound healing and breathwork ceremonies. All of which seemed a bit cultish to her, and when I realized that she was not open to growth and evolution based around communities, it was super red flaggy. So
How long did that relationship last?
it lasted. We were only in like a month and a half.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What has been your longest relationship?
Good Lord, I've got a high school sweetheart that's probably been. I was 15. I'm 28, and she's still around.
Oh
What? So you see each other once in a booty call?
I keep my heart open for her.
Aww.
She's showed me so many qualities that disqualify her from ever being my wife.
Really? Like what?
Yeah. Just I would say not. Let's see. How can I put this? I would say she prioritizes our love when she's feeling in the season, and when she's not feeling in it, she's completely disassociated from it. She's like, get out of my hair. And I can't do the back and forth, like, let's work through it, let's talk about it. I'm fully open for anything that it needs to be, and I don't want to be a sometimes option.
You want to be an always.
Right.
Absolutely.
And you want to get married. Do you want to have
course.
kids too?
Of course.
Yeah. We want it all.
Yeah. I would love to have it all now, and I'm also not rushing anything, just allowing and trusting.
So describe your ideal woman, your perfect partner.
Perfect partner. She's creative. She's intelligent. She is fun. She's friendly. She is. If we're talking real ideal here, I would say she's fit. She is agile. She's mobile. She is adventurous.
What about physical attributes?
Physical attributes. I think fitness is like a huge one for me. I find beauty in most all people. So irregardless of, color and size, anything like that, it's more of I'm more for the inside.
Nice. And you had told us a story about a hitchhiker, or you picked someone up, or they picked you up. Do you remember that story that he told us on the phone call?
Yeah, I think you're referring to the time when there was 4 women that I picked up on the side of the road in the van.
It's coming back. When you say 4 women, now it's coming back.
Tell us about that.
Well, I was in Encinitas, and I saw this group of girls that were like clearly like making signals and gestures at me in the van, which the van, I mean, it looks nice. It's got a lift kit, wheels and tires. Like, it looks pretty good. You can tell it's not like super creepy. And they see this.
But are there windows or are there not windows?
Not really. I mean, I've got limo tent on the front too, so those are black. And then the back, it's all vinyl, so completely murdered.
Hilarious.
And they're making clear gestures, and I'm like, those girls, like, it's a long shot, but I'm gonna turn around and see what they got going on. So I turned around and I rolled the window down. I was going the direction that they were walking, and I asked them, I was like, hey, this is gonna look really creepy, but I swear I'm a totally normal dude. If you guys need a ride, I can take you that direction. And one of them approached the window as the other 3 were like, no. She approached the window. She's like, dude, he's normal. He's normal.
And they got in?
They did.
Trusting little souls?
Oh, really? You didn't even have to offer like puppies or candy or
anything.
So they got in?
They did. They got in, and then we went to another bar, and we had a great night, and one of them was very cute and into me, so we had fun time in the van.
Bow chicka whale.
Shaggin' wagon.
Yeah,
Yeah. When the van's rocking, don't come out. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That is
So
hilarious.
then the next day you just dropped her off, and did you ever see her again?
No.
No?
She was visiting.
A one night stand in the van.
One night stand in the van. Yeah.
That is
So do you have
funny.
any crazy date stories or disaster date stories? Ever been catfished?
Oh, hell yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the apps are number one for catfishing. I feel like I've only been catfished on the apps.
That's why you've deleted them, never
Yeah,
to return again.
100%,
That's
yeah.
funny.
I used to love the apps, but I feel like they do really falsify a person's psychology of how much they're actually putting an effort into locating a partner, because you can swipe and convince yourself that, like, I'm looking for somebody right now, but you're not doing nothing.
Yeah.
You're not doing yourself any favors, especially in the context of the fact that maybe you might like their physical attributes, but their person, the way that they be, is completely something you don't even align with.
Yeah. I feel like just as much as like the younger generation coming up being minimalist, I feel like your lifestyle would also lend itself to dating older women who grew up in like that hippie era where it was like cool to live in vans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Are you into older women? Have you ever dated older women?
Only, well, except for my most recent relationship. She was younger than me, but
Okay.
I've only dated older women.
Okay.
Why? What? You prefer older women?
There's usually a mental aptitude. I'm not huge into like wanting to teach someone things. I actually enjoy being taught things by my partner, so that's kind of the dynamic there.
So what are your hobbies? What do you do for fun?
I'm a musician,
What do you play? Guitar?
guitar and sing.
That's probably a panty dropper.
Yeah.
Does that get the girls?
It helps.
Yeah.
What kind of music do you sing? Like what's your go-to karaoke song?
My favorite's love songs, but I cover about 300 songs, mostly country. A lot of songs sound country coming out of me, so it's kind of just my go-to genre. But I do a lot of Ed Sheeran songs, a lot of Chris Stapleton.
Do you do open mic nights, or do you play anywhere locally?
Yeah, I play some local gigs. There's a hotel in the Biltmore area that I play at every month.
What hotel?
Oh, we're gonna have
The
to
AC.
go.
Oh, I know the AC. Really? We should go.
Yeah,
you'll
you should
have to-
let us know.
We'll be our
I have
number
a
one
gig on
fans.
Yeah, perfect. I have a gig on the 17th.
Do you? Oh, cool. Yeah, we'll have to go.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about the guitar thing. We should have had you bring it today.
We
and
should
share
have,
the little
yeah.
number.
Serenade
Next
us.
time.
Yeah.
Serenade the meat market viewers.
Absolutely.
So what are your deal breakers?
Deal breakers, unwillingness to grow, and no fitness, too much drinking. I would say those would probably be it, and maybe like lack of intelligence, to be honest.
Yeah.
Do you drink at all, or is it
I-
just something you don't find super attractive?
Well, over the last couple months, my job. So I was a realtor at an investment property brokerage, where I was having really challenging phone calls with real estate agents every day, because I basically had to shoot them like a shit lowball offer, and it was not that fun. And I had to like explain, here's why my number is what the number is, and I did not enjoy having the phone calls. So I found that taking the edge off was very supportive, and happy hour aligned with about the same time. So I was going and getting a pitcher of IPAs every single day, and it got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm relying on this substance to alter my state in order to do this. And I was doing it so much that I just it wasn't sitting well with me. So over the last couple weeks, I've been, excuse me, disassociating from it. But I love to do it in celebratory fashion. I just don't love to be reliant on it.
Yeah,
Smart.
for sure.
You have a good
I think so.
outlet.
And I think people do that with dating too. They have a couple of drinks to take the edge off, and then it tends to turn them into someone who they're truly not. So I think I agree with that deal breaker of not drinking too much for sure.
100%.
Are you ready for it?
I'm ready for it. The Keep More Minute, sponsored by Tactical Tax Strategies. They help you keep more in your wallet. We help you keep more in your relationship. So, this week's listener question. I broke up with my girlfriend because I needed space, and also because she didn't laugh at my puns, but that's besides the point. Now here's the problem. Every time I see her talking to another guy, my stomach twists like a pretzel, and suddenly I'm irrationally convinced that this dude is smoother than a fresh jar of peanut butter. Why do I feel this way? I don't want to be with her, but I also don't want anyone else to be with her. Is this normal, or am I just a selfish man-child who needs a reality check? Or does it mean that I still love her? Help me before I accidentally bump into her next date and challenge him to a duel of trivia, because I'm not much of a fighter.
I hate men like that. I've dated guys in the past where they break up with you, but then they don't want you, but they don't want you to be with anyone else.
I feel like, is this how your little high school sweetheart is? Does you guys have broken up, but she doesn't want to see you with anybody else?
100%.
Is it? Interesting that this question came up.
It's not that she has a stigma around that, but she would love to keep me in her pocket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like social media also plays a huge role in this, because, it's like when you still have so much access to people from your past, so much access to their life, you're seeing them with other people, they are posting these things, only the good things, right? And so you think, oh, well, it didn't work out with this person. Now they're with someone else and they're doing X, Y, and Z when they didn't do it with me. I don't know.
And people are very guilty of posting pictures with members of the opposite sex to make their exes jealous.
Yes.
Look at me. I'm surrounded by a bevy of beauties,
Yes.
just to get that reaction, just to get them maybe to reach out.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think it takes time. Every breakup, it's going to hurt if you see them with someone else initially, right? Because you spend so much time together. But I think time is the healer of all wounds, right?
Yeah.
But maybe if he's still thinking about her a year later, maybe give it another go.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a cutter. Like once I'm done with the relationship, it's like it's over. There's never another chance.
I've never
of
gone
it
back to an
happening.
ex.
I haven't
When
either.
it's done, I am done. I'm checked out.
I'm the same way. I am the same way.
I'm kind of a believer that if you truly love someone and you truly care about them, you would never break up with them, right? I don't know.
I've had those who I've had to just have that hard stop with, while at the same time, there's some that I do appreciate being able to keep the door open for, not in a relationship position, but more so just one where they could call me if they had a flat tire at midnight in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And trust I would show up.
Yeah. I've dated guys casually that where we went on a few dates or we hung out for a couple of months, but it never evolved into a full-blown, very serious relationship. And those types of people I will keep in touch with, because we have both agreed, it's not going to work out as a long-term thing, but maybe there's friendship energy, or there's, they're just like a really good person or whatever. So where you keep sort of this stay in contact type of relationship, not necessarily open for a romantic relationship, but in terms of all of my long-term relationships that have not worked out, I have to just cut those and move on.
We hear about on The Bachelor where they choose the wrong person. They propose to one girl and then he changes his mind. In my opinion, you can't really feel strongly about either girl, right? Because if you did, wouldn't you know which one is meant for you? You'd have that strong feeling that you wouldn't make the right choice, right? The wrong choice, sorry.
Yeah. You would think so.
Although I feel like in those situations it's different because you don't really get to spend that much time with each person. So now I saw a funny TikTok video where the creator was asking its viewers to describe your ex as a brand. Okay? So here are some funny ones. Tommy Hilfiger, because he'll figure out a way to lie about anything. Dollar General, because he didn't have a dollar in general. Netflix, because I shared him with 5 other girls and I'm the only one paying. I feel like that's stress.
That's good.
IKEA, because every time I just go home and do it myself.
That's funny.
Twitter, because now he's my ex. Walmart, everyone's been in it. Make-A-Wish, because I was doing charity work. Brand, baby, he was thrift. Ross, because I settled for less.
So I was going to say.
That's many of my exes. Superdry, because honey, I was. Hello Kitty, because he said hello to every kitty. That's again another one of my exes.
As a shoe girly, I have to say pay less.
Pay less.
You know which ex I'm talking about.
Build-A-Bear, because I built that man. Apple, always updated, but somehow never changed. CVS, because I have hella receipts. Victoria's Secret, because Victoria is his secret. And then my husband and I were talking about, making our own up. And mine was Shein, because everything runs small.
I saw that one on TikTok too. And they said Temu as well.
Oh, Temu?
But
Oh,
yeah,
funny.
item not as pictured.
That is funny. Item not as pictured. Or another one I thought of this morning. Tampax, because he's always up himself. And then my husband was like, Goodwill, because it's been handed down over and over again. So what about you guys? Can you think of one?
Oh, my Payless.
Yeah, Payless? Mm-hmm. It's hard to think of on the spot.
It is.
It is, especially after those.
It is.
Those are hard to follow.
I know. Tommy Hilfiger is good. He'll figure out. Or Alaya. Alaya, a little more high end, but he's Alaya.
So now I had some rapid fire questions I want to ask you about the van life. So where's the weirdest place you've parked overnight?
Most all of them are weird. You never know what's going to wake you up in the middle of the night.
Have you ever had a horror nighttime story, being woken up by something or someone?
No, it's mostly just disturbances, be it a train or traffic that you didn't really account for before you went to sleep, and then you wake up to a damn highway.
You've never had anyone bang on your window?
Just one time.
Yeah.
The guy said, "Hey, can't park here. We're having church today." I was like, sorry.
How funny. What's the most creative home improvement hack in your van? A sink made from a salad bowl, bed that doubles as a storage unit, solar powered coffee maker.
I have none.
No?
It's the most simplistic build of
Really?
all time. I put only the essentials because I'm a dude.
Yeah.
So it's not dressed up to be cute. It's very functional only. It's cute a bit.
It's not dressed to impress. What's the best meal you've ever cooked in your van? Do you cook in your van?
Heck no.
No?
No, you don't have a hot plate or anything?
No, I actually don't, because I found it's extremely efficient for me to not have to purchase groceries and try and worry about the food situation. So I only eat out.
What do you eat out?
I eat only things that are probably cousins to Chipotle. So it's always a bowl. I eat meat, fruits, and veggies. That's about it.
Okay.
How do you deal with bad weather? We kind of talked about this.
Yeah, double blankets.
Yeah. Strangest encounter you've had on the road?
Strangest encounter I've had on the road. While driving? While parked?
Either. I mean, the 4 girls is
Yeah,
probably,
that's
probably
the
while
strangest.
driving. That's a pretty good one.
We've talked about van life romance. One last one. If your van had a theme song, what would it be? On the Road Again, Living on a Prayer.
Hell yeah, living on a prayer.
Really?
Yeah.
And one more, actually. What's the one thing you miss about normal life or living in a house or an apartment?
Climate control and running water.
Do you have a refrigerator in your van?
No.
No. So when you go out to eat, you order exactly what you're going to eat for that meal because you don't take any leftovers. God, that would be
100%.
hard. Man, I don't know if I could do it.
I've got a
Yeah.
system, and I run it every day.
Interesting.
So now it's time for the celebrity cut where we marinate in the juices of the celebrities. So did you hear that PR story about Blake Lively? You know how she's getting so much hate? So she wants to repair her image. So she wanted to work at a donut shop because she loves to bake. And so she convinced this Connecticut donut shop to allow her to come in and serve donuts and have a camera crew there. And the donut shop was very reluctant, but apparently the owner loves Deadpool, so they reluctantly agreed. And now they're getting so much flack. So there are all these pictures and videos of her serving these donuts, but her hair, you know, she has long, like wavy hair. It's down, like dangling in the donuts.
Or like in the
so-
frosting.
Yes, and she gets a lot of hate anyways because of the situation. And so people were just, they went off. How gross is it? Her hair's probably shedding into those donuts. So bad that now the donut shop is under investigation from the health department.
Are you
Because she
serious?
wasn't wearing a hairnet.
Oh my God.
I guess that's a big no-no.
There's
Gotta
some
wear a
Blake
hairnet.
Lively fans out there that would pay extra for those donuts.
Probably.
But, like, her hair is so long, and it was like, oh. But it's kind of sad because that donut shop, because she has so many haters, people were going to all of their pages and giving them bad reviews, 1-star reviews. Don't go here. It's nasty. Like creating stories to bring this donut shop down. And it's sad. It's not the donut shop's fault.
Right.
You know?
Poor donut shop. I know. I was gonna say poor Blake Lively, but she sort of made her bed.
Yeah.
Like
She did.
brought this on herself.
She
you know?
did. She did. She did.
So what is your favorite place to go on a first date?
Here lately, I've been utilizing a tool of a simplistic first date over something sophisticated where I try to ball out and impress her. You know, favorite place currently is to just go for a hike, go for a walk, wilderness.
The wilderness.
Have you been called low effort by anybody? Have you gotten feedback either way?
No, and it's something it's a new thing that I've been trying on for size.
Okay.
We talk a lot about relationships in my community, and something we're technically a men's group. We call it a book club. We read a book as a group of men, but lately we've been integrating women in as well. So we'll congregate separately, men and women, and talk about our discoveries within the book. And then we all join together and talk afterwards about, you know, collectively, what did we all gather? And, you know, one of the things that has been brought up is first dates, obviously. And from the women in our container, some of the feedback was, you know, we try to ball out on these first dates, and it seems like a lot of them are a loss. So, like, what are our women's take on doing something more simplistic? And most of the time, from what they say, it is a more welcoming space to not have all that pressure, and it allows you to kind of just be free and be open and actually discover the other person. So no, to answer your question shortly.
It's like this huge debate online, right? Because there's like the list of things like, because I prefer a coffee date or an ice cream date or something like that. That is more simplistic, where you can just focus on getting to know the other person versus spending, you know, all this elaborate time and money, and it takes so, you know, I get it. It does show effort if you're putting in the time and the investment, but I don't know. I think there's something to be said about like a more low key, just like
Especially
simple.
for a very, very first date. And
yeah.
especially if you meet them online.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're going to be catfished.
Yes.
Or if they're going to be anything like their
Yes,
profile. So I think for a
yes.
first date, something more simple and quick.
Yeah,
100%.
I agree.
And
I agree.
I'm there for the discovery of the person, you know. So I am cautious of what I do. Also, being a musician, like I've found if I take my guitar on the first date, things can get all wonky because, you know, she gets this idea and I already have this idea. So now we just jump into things that we wouldn't have otherwise. So I make sure to walk through the threshold of discovering the person prior to like actually making a commitment.
You want to lay all your cards out on the table on the first date. Yeah.
So you said you're in a runners club. Is that to meet women? We've heard that a lot of women now are joining these runners clubs just to meet men.
They do work great for that. I actually started doing it as a networking activity. I mean, I'm a runner anyways, so it was kind of in conjunction, but I was definitely utilizing it as a network opportunity at first.
Now it's time for the naughtiest segment of the show, the meat grab. Are you down for the challenge? Up for the grab? Willing to share? Pick one if you dare.
Oh.
Some are innocent, some are not so innocent. I hope it's a spicy one.
Okay. just the white label.
Yeah.
It says, have you ever turned down a sexual opportunity and regretted it? Nah, if I'm turning it down, that's with pure intention, I would say.
Have you ever had a sexual encounter that you regretted after the fact?
Plenty.
Really? Why? What are some of the reasons why?
Usually, I'm very selective with that energetic exchange because to me, I get to carry that around, and also, sex is usually a good activity, a good end result for me. So sometimes, it gets you in a situation where that person's following you around for the next month, and it's like, hey, I wasn't trying to sign up for this. So
Jared's got the ladies dickmatized.
Dickmatized chasing after that van, man.
That is hilarious.
chasing down my van.
Do you have any embarrassing sex stories, or has anything happened to you in the bedroom that was embarrassing?
The first thing that comes to mind is being walked in on, and that kind of thing sucks.
Yeah, by your parents.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
was that pre-van?
Yeah, that was definitely pre-van. Those were more younger years where I was sneaking around.
How big is the bed in your van?
Teeny tiny.
Is it? I was gonna say it has to be tough.
Yeah.
The van has to put a little damper on the sex.
It's
life,
kind of,
I would
honestly, it's
imagine.
more of a stand-up situation. It's a pretty tight little bed.
That's
so.
funny. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Do you have any other questions?
I don't.
Do you have any other questions? Or anything else you want to say?
I don't know that I do.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this week at the Meat Market, and thank you so much for watching. If you want to go on a date with It's Jared, go to any of our social media platforms at Meat Market Podcast or our website, themeatmarketpodcast.com. And thank you so much to our sponsor, Tactical Tax Strategies. If you want to preserve your wealth this tax season and keep more in your wallet, you need to go to Tactical Tax Strategies. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week at the Meat Market. Oh my God, I just totally got catfished. He looks absolutely nothing like his picture.
So I found out the guy that I've been dating is married with kids. His wife just reached out to me.